Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I thought I would go over my winter wardrobe essentials to help get you through a very cold winter and still feel and look your best. So as a Canadian gal who values very much being warm, but also being practical and stylish, let's get into my winter wardrobe essentials. Now, obviously, what's essential to me may not be essential to you. This really all depends on your lifestyle, your needs, and your climate. So feel free to take what you feel is useful from this video and modify it to your own life. But we love a warm and toasty queen in the winter. And I want to thank Grana for sponsoring a portion of today's video. They sent me a few pieces that I'll be sharing with you throughout the video that I think would make great and very warm winter essentials, so you can check that out if you're interested. I will leave all the pieces and the sizes that I chose in the description below. So if you haven't heard of Grana, they are a clothing company with a focus on simple, comfortable, and high quality basics. They are super versatile, and I've been wearing all the pieces that they've sent me quite a lot. This silk top is from Grana, and overall I've just been really impressed with the quality. I find their pieces have a really nice weight to them, the stitching is high quality, and they specialize in more eco-friendly and long-lasting materials like wool, cashmere, tencel, and silk. I've been especially really impressed with their cashmere pieces. They are super cozy, not itchy at all. I find Grana is just really high quality, and you can really tell that they take pride in the product that they're making. So if you're interested in any of the pieces from Grana, they did give me a discount code to share. So if you use the code CM20, you can save 20% on your next purchase. And I will leave all that information linked down below. Thanks, Grana. So I think I'll go through this video sort of in the order in which I would actually put an outfit together on a really cold winter day. And the key to staying warm but looking cute in the wintertime is all about layering. And it's not so much about layering your thickest, chunkiest, or heaviest pieces together. It's really about layering mindfully and being aware of fabric composition and just like the order in which you put things on. And that way you can stay warm but still have an outfit that feels good and doesn't end up feeling too tight, bulky, or even overwhelmingly hot by the end of it. So the first key essential for me is heat tech. Mine is from Uniqlo, but you can really get these anywhere. All heat tech is essentially a polyester blend, but I find it's thin enough that you don't get really sweaty in it to the point where you actually sweat and then get cold. I find it is quite effective when you layer with it to just sort of trap in heat and just create an extra barrier. So I feel like in the winter, there's no reason to stray too far away from your personal style and what it is you like to wear, especially if you do have those like core year-round staple pieces that you wear all the time. The whole like long underwear vibe layering thing has been totally key for me in keeping things really warm and just preventing my outfits from looking or feeling too bulky. I took a look at my wardrobe, and honestly, the only winter specific pair of pants that I do own is a fleecy pair of sweatpants. And sometimes when it's really cold or very, very snowy outside, I'll actually layer these on top of my outfit. So I might do the heat tech, my regular pants or trousers, and then I'll layer these over top just to protect my actual clothing from slush, sleet, from getting wet. And on my walks to work, it just keeps me extra warm and cozy. So I look a little ridiculous, but I am warm, baby. So I am happy. The next key winter staple for me is a sweater. For me, this often comes in the form of a chunky sweater, a turtleneck, a cardigan, and sometimes a hoodie. So I want to share with you two options from Grana. This one is a men's crew neck cashmere sweater. I've been wearing this one so much. It is super warm, super comfy. It is made of 100% cashmere. I love the navy blue color. I got this in a men's size medium so that it's a little bit more oversized and relaxed looking, but I've been wearing this sweater a lot and it is just beautifully warm, but still fairly lightweight. Like, it's not really thin, but it's not like super heavy or chunky where it feels like you can't layer anything over it. Definitely not a lot of bulk to this, but the warmth is still there. And then this is a nice cream option that they sent me with a V-neck. I think with this this, I would still layer like a t-shirt or even heat tech underneath, because I do like to have that extra layer between my skin and cashmere, mostly just to help prevent things like sweating and pit stains and smell in the sweater. Just helps it last longer between washes. This one again is 100% cashmere, very, very soft, still nice and thick, but not itchy. And it's just like a nice winter white option. If I want to feel a little bit more athleisure or just really comfy, cozy casual, I love having a hoodie in the winter, because not only does it just look really relaxed and cozy, but the hood can serve a practical purpose, especially if you're outside. Just helps protect you from the wind. This one is also 78% cotton, 22% polyester, which I think is a nice mix, because I have had 100% polyester sweaters before in the past, and I would just sweat right through them to the point where I was freezing. So again, really try to pay attention to your fabric composition. Things like silk, cotton, cashmere, wool, alpaca are all going to be really great fabrics to look out for that will stay breathable but will also keep you really warm. If the composition is leaning a lot more into polyesters, elastane, it can still look really nice and it'll feel really nice and soft, but it's not going to keep you as warm versus if the fabric composition leaned more towards those natural fibers. The next option I like to have are long sleeve t-shirts. I still like to wear things like my t-shirts and even my tank tops throughout the winter, and all of that really just has to do with layering. So I think a nice option is something like a long sleeve turtleneck, whether that be chunky or even a little bit more thin like this. I like the thinner versions because you still have a lot of freedom to layer a lot more pieces over top, but it still looks really nice and again, not too bulky. Next, getting into layering pieces, my two core layering pieces in the winter are blazers and very recently cardigans. We'll start with the blazer because that is my bread and butter. And I do have a mix of blazers. Some of them are made of pretty much fully synthetic blends of like recycled polyester, elastane, things like that. I wouldn't necessarily reach for those first in the wintertime because again, they just aren't really gonna do as good of a job as a wool blend blazer would do, or even an 100% wool blazer. So the closest thing I have right now to that is my agency blazer from Aritzia. This is the older version of the agency blazers, and this one is made of 95% cotton, 5% elastane. So it is a bit thicker, it holds in heat better than my synthetic blazers. It's also lined, so it's just that little bit of extra layering within the piece that can really just help keep heat in and keep you a lot warmer. The nice thing about blazers is that these are very easily thriftable, and you'll probably find a warmer and higher quality, thicker blazer at the thrift much faster and a lot more affordable than you would buying new. So if you do want to add a wool blazer into the mix this winter, I would definitely encourage thrifting that first. And if the fit is a little bit off, don't sleep on seeing your tailor. It's really often only a few little fixes like taking out shoulder pads, fixing the arm length, and potentially darting in the back to make it fit a little bit better. And that way you have this beautiful one-of-a-kind chic piece that you didn't really spend a lot of money on. And if it is a wool blazer, it's going to keep you really warm. So the next piece that I like to reach for as a layering piece, especially when I'm like lounging around at home, I really like a cardigan. This one is from Grana. It's a really nice V-neck cardigan in this charcoal color. It is 100% cashmere. It's a little bit more of like a fuzzy kind of cashmere, and it's on the thinner side, so quite different than the weaving of this cashmere sweater from Grana. And this particular style of cardigan really gives me like Kurt Cobain vibes. I would really love to wear this with just like a white t-shirt and some jeans for a more grungy look, but you could also easily dress this up, pair it with like a tank top. You could even wear it on its own for a little bit more of like a sexy vibe, holiday party maybe, and it'll still look really nice and you'll still be quite warm in it, despite it being on the thinner side. For me, I don't really lean towards a chunky knit cardigan. I just find them to be very, very heavy. I used to have some in my wardrobe and I decluttered them and gave them to my sister. She loves a chunky cardigan. So if that's your vibe, then definitely go for it. But I really like this more thinner option because again, I just don't like feeling overwhelmed by bulk when I am layering in the winter. Now that we have our outfit on, let's talk about winter footwear. For me, this is not the time for things like sneakers, ballet flats, or any sort of ankle showing. So my main go-to in the winter are boots. There's two types of boots that I wear on a regular basis when I am outside. These ones are from Kamik. They are more of a kind of combat style boot, but they have a really nice tread on them and they are insulated. They're good till -20. They're also waterproof. So these are really nice to and from boot where they look a little rugged. So you could potentially wear them on their own with an outfit. I don't know how often I would do that. So what I usually do is wear my walking boot to wherever I'm going and then change my shoes when I get there. But these are really, really great. They have a taller shaft, so you're not gonna get any snow or slush in there. They're really, really easy to lace up, and this is my favorite part about them. They have a zipper on the side, so they're really easy to just slip on and off. And once we start getting into more real deal deep winter, kind of north of the wall vibes.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
And I really love my Wind River T-Max Ice Queen boots. The name is a little hilarious, but these I got last winter after I saw a CBC Marketplace episode testing out all of the most popular winter boots on ice, and the guy was literally walking like on an ice rink. These were the only ones that held up. They're super cozy, super warm, really easy to slip on and off. I can wear like a normal regular ankle sock in them and my foot is still really toasty warm. What makes their tread so good is that they have little shards of glass on the tread, so it acts almost like a cleat to give a little bit of extra tread and resistance when you're walking on especially slick, icy surfaces. I have not fallen down once, and I really do owe it to these boots. Some other boot options I like to wear kind of more with my outfits and as I'm walking, but mind you, not so much if it is quite slippery out. I would not wear these boots if the weather was like that. So you and your tailbone can wear it at your own risk. But on drier days, I do like to reach for my Doc Martens. These are not a winter boot, but I do wear them in the winter. The tread is okay on them. My butt doesn't really trust them, but when I do want to wear them, I'll usually wear a thicker wool sock or even an insulated insole just to keep my feet extra warm. And then I recently got these Chelsea boots for my trip to New York. I actually need to take them to a cobbler to put a little something underneath just to give me a little bit less slip. But I think something like this with maybe more of a lug sole would work really nicely in the winter and still give off a more like fashion boot kind of vibe. Getting into outerwear, for me, I feel like I really only have 3 different essentials, but I do have a lot of different options because when you live in a country like Canada, the coat is usually the whole outfit. That's kind of what people see, so that's where you can really have a lot of fun with your styling, but still stay warm. My first coat essential is a wool overcoat. I prefer one that's a little bit more long line in length, that covers my butt and even goes past my knees. This is more for practical reasons, to keep you warm from the wind and things like that. Again, I would recommend looking for a wool or cashmere blend coat to keep you the warmest. And you want to look for details like inner lining. This not only indicates that the coat is a little bit more high quality, but again, it's going to keep you warmer. It's just that little extra layer of thickness and sort of padding in the coat. But I would really only wear this coat maybe at maximum till like -2 degrees Celsius. This is not anything that I would wear in the deep of winter. It's just not going to do the job. It's not going to keep you warm enough. This is just another option that I have from Philippa Haag. Again, this is just to show you how you can have some fun with wool overcoats. It's a really nice sort of herringbone pattern. This is fully lined. It's really heavy, very, very warm, and very, very cool. So if that's all you're gonna see of the outfit, I'm happy. If you're really only gonna invest in one thing in the winter, it is a good parka. The wool coats, all that is really just the cherry on top, and a nice option for things like party season and just like if you want a little bit more of a chicer, formal option. But for every day, you want a parka or a puffer coat that is gonna keep you warm and toasty. This one's my favorite. It's from a brand called Norden. It's really, really warm. It's like rated till like -20. It's got a nice hood. It's got magnetic buttons. It even has reflector strips on it because it gets dark really quickly in the wintertime. Lots of pocket options, and it is waterproof. That way it'll keep you warmer, you won't get wet, and I think it's just a sign of a higher quality coat. Another option is a puffer jacket. This is a Canada Goose that I thrifted for $40 in like 2018. I'm pretty sure it's a kid's extra large, but this is the warmest coat that I have. It is like wearing a sleeping bag, and I wear this on the coldest and harshest of winter days. And if you happen to live in a more mild climate, you don't really need a crazy parka or anything like that, but you want to be a little bit warmer than just having the wool coat on its own, then I recommend a down vest. This one is the ultralight down from Uniqlo, and it packs up like this, like a sleeping bag. And I actually saw this a lot in Europe when I visited about 5 years ago. I noticed that a lot of the people were wearing their really nice chic overcoats with just a really thin Uniqlo vest or puffer jacket underneath. And I just thought it was a really nice way to get a little bit more wear out of your wool overcoats, but not compromising on your warmth. This definitely wouldn't keep me warm on its own, even like in the fall, I would say. But if it's around 5 degrees Celsius to, again, maybe -2, then I would definitely consider doing this layering situation if I wanted to look a little bit more chic. And getting into winter accessories really quick: cashmere or wool scarf, ideally a big chunky one, a beanie or a toque, mittens or gloves, mittens for super cold days, gloves for less cold days / if you value dexterity, a nice pair of thick wool socks, and fleecy or even sheep's wool insoles. So those are all of my winter wardrobe essentials for a very cold Canadian winter. The key for me really is all about layering and paying attention to your fabrics, and that way you don't have to deviate so far off from your personal style, nor do you have to sacrifice warmth in the process. Let me know what your winter wardrobe essentials are and what the winter is like where you're from. Leave me a comment down below. Thanks again to Grana for sponsoring this video. You can get 20% off using the code CM20. If you found some value in this video, it would help me a lot if you gave me a thumbs up. And if you aren't subscribed yet, join us. We're pretty cool here. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye.